¿Aquí todas las personas entienden inglés? Entonces voy a preguntar al profesor, ¿inglés o español? Inglés. Bueno, yo voy a hacer una cosa. Yo voy a hablar más inglés, voy a hablar lento, que ustedes me entienden bien, pero también voy a mezclar a veces un poco español, o si alguien tiene una pregunta en español, me puedes preguntar y yo voy a responder en español. ¿Ok? Y más. Bueno, voy a empezar. Voy a primero hacer una pequeña introducción y bueno, déjame empezar con la introducción. I'm Baisakhi. Yeah, well, my language is Bengali. So in Bengali, it's Baisakhi, but we write with an A instead of an O, so I always say Baisakhi. I'm from India, as you can see me. I was born in Calcutta. Do you know where India is? Where is India? Asia. In Asia, very good. And do you know where Calcutta is? South. South. North. Have you heard the place where Mother Teresa went? You know? Yeah. So that's Calcutta. So I was born in Calcutta, and it's in the east of India. So before we attained independence, Calcutta was the capital of India. But after the English people, they left, they changed the capital from Calcutta to New Delhi. And New Delhi is in the north of India. I would have shown you by drawing it, but I think that is very far, so I will only try to explain with words. So I have lived in different parts of India, and after my school I won a scholarship to go to Singapore and study there. Do you know where Singapore is? Asia, very good. It's more like Southeast Asia, and it's a very developed country, a bit like Japan. And so I studied in Singapore. I had a scholarship. I studied informatics, computer science, and I was studying computer science, but I didn't really enjoy my career very much. I didn't like it, but I chose it because it was popular and everybody took it. Thank you. So it was popular. All my friends were doing computer science, so I also wanted to be in the crowd, in the group. So I chose that career, but I wasn't really happy in that career, and I always wanted to do and to be someone else, do something else. And because of that, I suffered a lot. I will maybe tell you the story in detail after I present a dance, because I'm going to present 3 dances today. I will do like dance and then a bit of speech and dance and speech, so it is evenly distributed. So I will just briefly tell you that I recently published this book. It's called magicNine. You know magic, magia. 9 es el número 9. Actually, the story of magicNine started on 999. So 9th September 2009. And 5 years later, last year on 9th September, I published this book. So it's a very interesting story because it talks about the synchronicities, like coincidences, sincronicidades that we experience in our lives. Like, signs. Like when you have a desire, let's say you think of a dolphin, okay? Every day you are thinking of a dolphin. And then suddenly what happens, you will start seeing dolphins everywhere. You go to the supermarket, you will see a picture of dolphin. You switch on the TV, suddenly there will be a show on dolphins. So this phenomenon is called synchronicities. When you focus on something really hard, it starts showing up in your life. So this book is very interesting because I focused on the number 9 and a whole series of coincidences and synchronicities took me from one part of the world to another, and finally I came to Costa Rica. Like, I have traveled all over the world. It was a dream. When I was in university, I was learning German, and I really wanted to travel because I didn't like my career. So I didn't have any money, I didn't have any resources, but magic happened, and my first trip outside of Asia, I won a trip, all expense paid trip to Europe. So it was something that manifested because of my desire. My desire was so strong that I used to go to the airport with my books to study there during my exams, and all the planes that would go by, I used to be like, say hello to Germany, say hello to Europe, because I really wanted to go. And all my classmates who were also learning German, they were Singaporeans, so they all went to Germany on intercambios and came back, but I couldn't because already I was in a foreign country, and for me it was too expensive to go to Germany on intercambio. So my desire, my dream was so strong, and I used to spend so much time with the Germans that were in my university, and I used to go to the airport. You know, I was focusing on going to Europe, on going to Germany. And then one day a series of mysterious coincidences led me to Europe. You know, all expense paid trip to Switzerland. It's like the most expensive country in Europe. And then Germany. So that's what I mean by synchronicities. So this book is full of talking about synchronicities. It's in English, so I think it will help all of you if any of you want to get a copy. I have 6 copies here. It's also on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, so you can get it online. So I'm going to stop now. I will tell you more about the stories, about it was not always, you know, like up. There were a lot of down moments. But after I present a dance. Okay, so I will start with the dance now. And after the first dance, I will tell you more about the story in my book. ¿Tú sabes cuál canción primero?
La 1. Tú ahí. Profe, ¿puede grabar un toquecito para...? Es que es para ellas, para grabar, sí.
Hay una canción que se llama Mujer Hambre.
Tú me dices, porque no se ve aquí cuál es.
No es tan buena, seguro.
¿Esa?
No, esa. Pero me pones de primero, espérame, déjame poner posición.
Ok.
Normalmente estas partes no se vean la gente, pero aquí no hay cortinas. Ahora puedes empezar. Dame un chancito. Yo olvidé explicar el baile antes, porque si explicaría ustedes podrían entender más, pero ahora les explico. Rang es color, y rang es como dame color, porque es una mujer que está bailando diciendo a su amante que coloreame con tu amor, que dame color, que coloreame mi vida, que dame el color de tus ojos a mis ojos, que quiero ver el mundo de tus ojos. Entonces, bueno, las canciones de Bollywood y las músicas de Bollywood son muy románticos y todo es una significa con amor. Entonces, esta mujer que está bailando y cantando como yo soy una caballeral, yo soy el amanecer y yo soy como todo y yo quiero tu amor, dame tu amor. Y este amor es como color porque normalmente cuando estamos enamoradas, de repente la vida siente más coloroso, todas las cosas son más lindas, más bellas. Entonces aquí el color es como amor. Entonces cuando ella está diciendo que dame tu color a mi cuerpo, a mis manos, todo esto. Entonces, ¿cómo les pareció el baile? Estaba un poco aquí, les vamos. Sí, es muy buena, muy buen comentario porque la danza india, la cultura india con danza, música, todo, son con muchas expresiones. Entonces en India, por ejemplo, también con la gente expresamos más emociones que la gente aquí o en otros lados del mundo. Entonces en Bollywood y películas hindú siempre podemos ver que todas las cosas son con muchas expresiones. Por ejemplo, este baile había parte donde ella está triste como yo quiero, está pidiendo, entonces estos martes, sí, yo quiero el amor. Entonces, estas partes es como alguien tiene sed, todos tenemos sed de amor, cualquier cosa, cualquier tipo de amor, estamos humanos y tenemos sed de amor. Es que aquí no expresamos mucho, pero ahí expresa mucho. Que tengo sed de tu amor. Entonces había partes donde ella está diciendo, yo soy aquí, estoy incompleta. Y yo sé que en algún lugar tú también estás incompleta. Y ¿por qué no vengas y completamos uno a otros? Entonces hay lindos significados y las palabras en hindú son muy bonitos, no son así directos, entonces usamos como flor, pavo real, cosas de nature, naturales para expresar el amor. Porque había una parte que yo estaba como acostada y como yo amanecí, yo soy, yo despierto con tu amor, todo esto, pero las palabras son más poéticos. Entonces, en el idioma hindú se suena más lindo que cuando yo estoy explicando como directo, porque mi vocabulario español no está muy... Ok, entonces ahora, Juan, ¿me dices a qué hora es?
Son las 8:10.
8:10. Entonces, ¿qué hago?
Pues, no, pues, hasta puedes seguir, no hay problema.
Ok. Entonces voy a hablar un poco más la historia y luego hago otro baile. ¿Okay? Y acuérdame si yo olvido antes del baile para explicar el baile.
Ok.
Ok, entonces, bueno, yo expliqué más o menos que yo empecé a viajar con esto, ¿verdad? Pero no era siempre así. Yo en mi universidad estaba muy triste porque no estaba feliz con mi carrera y aunque gradué en informática, estoy hablando en español. Okay, so I totally forgot because I'm used to talking in Spanish. So I wasn't always very happy in my university. And I will go a little spiritual over here because I know that people know a lot about spirituality. So, you know, when we are not doing something that we really like or we are not really happy in our lives, it can manifest as physical problems. So in my university, I was very sad, depressed, and I manifested spinal injury, which led me to nearly immobilized for nearly 3 years. So before that, I was an athlete, I was a basketball player, I was doing all kinds of sports, I was a dancer, I was very agile, I was always moving. Then imagine, suddenly one day I sprained my, well, it was not a sprain, it was slip disc, my spine, and it led me to a position where I could not even put my own pants bending without hurting my back. So it was really hard for me, and that time, those 3 years, I was doing a lot of physiotherapy, and I was spending each day like $50 just on my physiotherapy, and it was a really tough time for me. And this is when I discovered magic, like magic of my book. You know, it's not like an illusion, it's real magic. So then I understood a little bit about the law of attraction, about how we create our realities. And I realized no wonder my life is so miserable and I was such a negative person. So I started changing my thoughts. And that's how, you know, as I told you, I wanted to travel. So I went to the airport. I used to, you know, like wave at the planes. And suddenly, through mysterious coincidences, one night I had a dream. And that dream was very significant. I will not go to a lot of details, but it was something which led me down the spiral. But it happened so I could come up and I could win this trip to Europe. And after this, it was my first magic in life. After this, after I saw Europe, I didn't really want to stay in Singapore anymore because for me it was a very boring place. Even though it's very developed, you know, if you think Japan, like you think, oh, Japan is so interesting, but it's a very, very stressful country. Like the competition is very high. And look at me today. I'm an artist, I'm a dancer, I'm a writer. So imagine me in an environment like Singapore. So you can imagine how unhappy I was in that place. I mean, it's not a bad place, but it's for people who like that kind of stress. It was not for me because in my heart, I was meant to be an artist, not an informatic computer programmer. For some people it's great, but for me it was not. So every person has their calling, right? So after I came back from Europe, I joined a student exchange program, which took me to, first I went to Africa and then South America, Venezuela, and then I came to Costa Rica. It was my third intercambio here. And I was also looking for a lot of things in life, you know, like love, like the meaning of life, magic, things like that. So I was looking for a lot of answers because I had a lot of questions inside me. Why is life like this? Why do we have to suffer? Why do we have to struggle? Why do I have to do something that I don't like? You know, all these rules that society puts on us. So I was really struggling with that kind of thing. So I set out to look for answers. And when I learned that, you know, if you think positive, your life will become positive. You know, nowadays everybody says, think positive, think positive, think positive. It's like a virus, right? I'm sure you have all heard. Hay que pensar positivo, hay que pensar hasta que estamos como, bueno, cuando tenemos una emoción negativa, sentimos culpable, como, oh, no tengo que sentir así. I should not feel like this. I should think positive. So what happened with me was, so when I discovered magic, I started thinking only positive, to the extent that I started rejecting, rechazar, my own negative emotions. So what happened was, even though I manifested a lot of magic in my life, I also suffered a lot. And I did not know, like, till today, I am understanding the meaning of magicNine. When I published this book, I still did not know the meaning of magicNine in my life. So now, every day, I am understanding more and more my own book. I'm understanding why it happened, because when I published the book, I just wanted to find my next step in life. And I did not know that what will happen to this book. I just published it because I felt again synchronicities, signs asking me to publish this book. So I published it because I was writing it during a process of 3 years, and I never thought it would become a book. I was just writing it until one day I started receiving signs, you know, everywhere I go. Somebody is telling me about a book. So I knew it was a sign that I needed to publish it, but I did not know why. Why should I publish? Because this book has a lot of my feelings, you know, that is inside my heart, and I did not want people to read it, strangers to read what's in my heart. So I went ahead and published because it was a calling. But now, with every day, I'm understanding more and more the meaning of my book, and the more I understand, the more beautiful it becomes. So, I think people are leaving. My speech is very boring, is it? I think it's late. Okay, so I told you a little more about my book. Now I will maybe do another dance. And then I will talk a little more.
Explain the dance.
Huh?
Oh, yeah,
Yes, I will explain the dance. Okay, so this dance is called Chhajhariya Meri Chanak Gai. Now, Chhajhariya means Tovijeras. Okay, so again, it's a romantic song, and it means Mis tobilleras tintinean. It's como my anklets jingle. So this girl, she is trying to attract, you know, in India we have really elaborate anklets, and when you, this one is very small, but when you dance it makes sound. So she is talking about her anklets, and she is trying to attract her lover, who fell in love with her because of her anklets. So, I know it's a funny song, but this girl, she is explaining to people that Miss Tobilleras Tintinean, and she is telling the story of how she met this guy in the market where she saw some tobilleras, and it was too expensive, so she didn't buy it. So he saw her and he liked her, so he bought the tobilleras for her, and then there was a music. So this is the music I'm going to dance to. I hope you will enjoy. Shall we start? Yo creo que es el segundo.
Segundo.
El segundo. Sí, creo. A ver. No.
Ese no es. Ok, primero. Si no es gallo, gallina. Listo. Creo que sí.
¿Ustedes qué quieren? ¿Contar? Otra. Ok, hay un baile más, pero déjame tomar un poco de aire. Hágalo. Ok. ¿Alguien tiene unas preguntas? ¿Quiere saber algo de mi cultura? ¿Algo de no sé qué? ¿Puede preguntar? A mí me gusta más clases de interacción porque yo sé aquí todos son estudiantes. Entonces, si quieres saber algo, puede preguntar. ¿Nada? ¿Qué? Está muy tarde.
I want to know something.
Yes, tell me.
How many hours in your playing time?
Okay. Very good question. Actually, I did not come directly to Costa Rica because before Costa Rica, I did another exchange in Venezuela. So from India to Venezuela, I traveled like 36 hours. I changed 3 planes. So from India, I went to Belgium. Then from Belgium, I went to Canada. Then from Canada, I went to Caracas. And then from Caracas, I went to Maracaibo because I was doing my exchange in Maracaibo. So it looks like there are more people. So I will talk like a little more, maybe 5 minutes. And then I will do the last dance and then we can call it a day, yeah? So yes, you know, one plane cannot have enough fuel to come all the way here. It's really far, it's on the other side of the world. So normally, minimum you have to change 2 planes. But I got a cheaper connection, which was not cheap, which was really expensive, but cheaper than all the other connections. And I had really long transits. So that's why I changed 3 flights. And then after I finished my intercambio in Venezuela, I got the next intercambio in Costa Rica. So I came directly from Venezuela to Costa Rica. So that's why I didn't calculate the hours. But even though I flew 36 hours, I came 1 day before the normal time, and after coming here, I became younger by 1 day. Because you know, we out here live in the past. There in India, they live in the future. So literally, you know, people say time travel is not possible. But this is time travel. Imagine when my parents are calling me, they are calling me from the future. Right? And they are talking to their past. Really, you know, I should say, hey, I have a call from my future. Because really, when I go to India, I'm older by 2 days. And when I come here, I'm younger by 1 day because the time doubles. So if it takes 36 hours to fly from here to India, there it will be 2 days late. And here it will be 1 day before. So you see, we are always time traveling. Okay, any other question? Yes.
What would you say are the main differences between India and Latin America that you found?
Great question, and I think I can answer that question in many ways, but I will give a more general answer because if I go into specifics, it will take the whole night. So, Indian culture is very deep. Not everything. Do you here understand English? Yes, everybody? Including English? See, okay. Because these people, they know English, they told me. But since you all just came here, I don't know if you understand English, so let me give you one example so you can understand the difference, because sometimes just explaining it doesn't work. So let's take food. So food is part of culture, right? What is the cultural food here? Gallo pinto, very tasty, delicious. I really like gallo pinto, even though it's a very simple dish. And yeah, it is very simple. Well, if you see how many condiments we use in Indian food, then you will know that gallo pinto is very simple. But I like it because it is simple. And you have casagos, and maybe a few like hamburguesa and the American food. Okay, in India, so some of you already heard of this metaphor because I keep repeating it. Let's say you go to India on the 1st of January, beginning of the year, and you stay 1 year in India. You leave India on the 31st of December. 1 year, every day you eat 3 times, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And you never repeat a single meal twice. So if I eat something today morning, I will not eat it for the rest of the year. So when you leave India, at the end of 1 year, you have not tried even 50% of the variety of food that exists in India. So did you get the answer to your question? So this is just food. So if I talk about dance, what are the dances that you have here? Salsa, I love it. I really love salsa. I learned Cuban salsa when I was in Africa. I fell in love with it. Yeah, it's funny because I learned salsa in Africa. Huh? Yeah, interesting mix. And I done salsa better than the just a joke. So you have salsa, merengue, bachata, cumbia, gaita. What else do you have? Tango. All these are Latin American dances, right? Like maybe maximum 10 different dances. In India we have just classical. We have like, I don't know, 50, 100. I don't even know all the names, but I can give you some names. There is Kathak, Bharatnatyam, Odissi, Kuchipudi, Manipuri, Kolatam, Mohiniyattam. Then we have Kathakali. Then the other dances are like Santhali, Bihu, Dandiya, Garba, Bhangra. So these are all different names of dances that are in India. So just in classical we have so many. Then we have every region, every state in India has their own culture. So every state is like a country because every state has its own government, its own culture, its own language. Even the letters of the language are different. And then it has its own food, its own clothes. Like matrimonio in Bengal, las mujeres pone sari roja, pero en norte las mujeres ponen lehenga, que no es sari. En el sur se pone un sari blanco con dorado. Entonces cada estado tiene su cultura. comida, tiene su gobierno, su manera de vida, todo. Y además cada idioma tiene dialectos. Entonces tenemos como 500 idiomas, más de 1000 dialectos. Y mayor, como 20 idiomas que son oficiales. Entonces no hay un idioma que cada hindú sabe. Entonces para mí fue más difícil. Mi papá estaba cuando trabajando, estaba viajando mucho por India, como migrando. Entonces para mí fue más difícil ir al sur de India que ir a África. Porque en África la gente habla inglés. Imagínate que cuando yo fui al sur de India, ahí el gobierno quiere, el idioma era tamil. Y yo ni puedo leer tamil, ni conozco las letras. Y todas las signos, posters, billboards eran en tamil. Además, cuando fuimos al súper, no sabíamos nada. Y ahí no hay súper como usted entiende todo, más como gente, como ferias. Entonces, si quieres comprar verduras, tú vas a un mercado y ellos te preguntan, ¿qué quieres? ¿Y tú? No sé, porque yo no sé ningún nombre. Y las verduras son adentro que ellos van a sacar. Y si tú no puedes decir el nombre, tú no puedes. Fue muy difícil para nosotros. Aunque la comida tampoco no nos gustamos tanto, porque ahí ellos cocinan con aceite de coco. Y nosotros en Bengal cocina con aceite de mostaza. Entonces los dos sabores son totalmente diferentes y yo como era niña estaba acostumbrado con un sabor. Cuando fui al sur no nos gustamos la comida nada hasta que desarrollamos el
Taste, gusto.
Okay, so the culture, one thing about Indian culture is that like normally if you go on the streets, en las calles, la gente siempre lleva puesto trajes hindú, como sari. Sari es un vestido que es como 6 metros, una tela, y se pone alrededor y se ve muy linda. Entonces, en India, como aquí, si usted va así, Costa Rica tiene sus tradiciones, culturas, pero solo vemos esto cuando es el día de la independencia, ¿verdad? Otro tiempo casi no vemos porque toda la gente lleva pantalones o jeans más como americanos. Pero en India, mi mamá, por ejemplo, cuando estaba trabajando en una escuela, todos los días pone sari. Estos tipos de, bueno, no, esto es más para bailes, pero se tapa, por ejemplo, se tapa el cuerpo así y se puede ir en la calle así. Y tenemos varios estilos de vestido. También la moda hindú es muy linda. Hay vestidos que se ven muy modernos con un toque de hindú. Tal vez una cenefa aquí o algo que la gente, si ustedes van a India, yo le prometo que va a enamorar con la moda de India. Joyerías, todo. Hoy yo, por ejemplo, tengo joyerías muy marcados. Pero así lo ponemos en la calle, eso es más para bailes. Pero hay otros que son muy lindos, pero con un toque hindú y son más sutiles, se ve bien. Ok, yo creo que voy a hacer el tercer baile. Explico antes. Ok, este baile se llama manbalage. Manbalage significa como este corazón sea apegado a ti. Entonces es otro baile de amor romántico, todo esto. Es una mujer que está diciendo a su amante y el amante también está respondiendo. Entonces van a escuchar dos voces, porque los otros eran como solo una mujer, pero esto hay mujer y hombre. Y bueno, my heart is attached to you, so it's a romantic song. And I will just do it in a minute. Let me drink some water, and then we will start. This dance has more expression than jumping steps. Ahora el tercero
Todas esas hay.
Esto era la otra, ¿no? Ah, sí, esto, pero ponte de primero. Bueno, entonces creo que eso es todo. ¿Hay alguien que quiere saber algo? ¿Preguntas? Bueno, espero que les gustaran mis bailes. ¿Algo más?
Nada más.
Sí.
I just want to tell you that I kind of admire you. I feel that you're like an inspiration for us because you were like in a tough situation, but you decided to kind of break that thing, right? Yes, and do something that you really wanted to do. So that kind of motivates me to go to my home and start doing things that I have to do. Right?
That really made my day.
It's something that really holds my attention and kind of made me think, about things that sometimes we are doing that we don't enjoy, that we don't like, and so it's really motivating and inspiring. So,
Oh, thank you so much. I really love that comment because it makes me feel that, my life is meaningful. When people say things like that to me, because it was so tough, in my family, everyone, in my family there is no artist. So for me it was very difficult to come here and to follow my heart, and so many times I spent days crying, depressed, because I don't know what to do with my feelings, but thank you for reflecting back to me that. Yes. Yes, because when I was a child, I used to read a lot of books. I lived in books. I'm more introvert. Like, I can talk to public, but as a person, I'm very introverted. I love reading, I love writing, and I always wanted to publish my own book. But I never knew how, because I never thought that magicNine will be my first book. So when the calling came, I was writing, that I realized just by following my heart, following my passions, life took me to a place where one day I woke up and I realized I already have a book. I just have to give birth. I always liked dancing, but I never did spectacular shows, no. People started asking me, show us something of your culture, and I was like, okay, I will do a dance, and people loved it, and I loved it more. So I realized that maybe I should continue, even though it's very hard. This vestido es de acá. Yo hice hindú en la tela todo. Se ve muy hindú, pero no puede traer todo de ahí. Entonces yo juego con colores, telas, me encanta. You had a question.
Yeah. Where can we get your book?
I have 6 copies here.
But besides tonight.
Okay, so Amazon.com, if you go Amazon and search magicNine, una palabra, magic, M minúsculo, 9, N mayúsculo. I was informatic, and in informatic, that's how they name all the words, the next word, instead of putting a space, they put mayúsculo. So that's how my book is named. You can search, or Baisakhi Saha, and I have an author page, so if you put amazon.com /, ¿cómo se dice slash?
Slash.
/ author, and inglés, AUTHOR, /Baisakhi Saha, mi nombre completo.
How do you spell your name? Because I don't think we can do
Maybe I
that.
can write it on the board. Does anybody have a Isara, lapis? So you can, I will write. So Baisakhi Saha, you can get it.
Need a marker?
Yeah. Can you throw it at me? I'll catch. So I will give you some sketch. I will write. So Amazon / I'll write here. Author / junto. Baisakhi Saha. Y también con este nombre Baisakhi Saha, en YouTube tengo un canal, lo siento. Puedes suscribir a mi canal de danza, porque yo quiero que mi canal crece. Baisakhi Saha en YouTube, y también tengo un canal de libro magicNine. Si buscas Magic, pero hay un / porque en YouTube no deja poner punto. Magic, espacio 9, llega con este portada, llega a la página, ahí hay muchos videos de mi libro y de mis presentaciones de libro. Puedes suscribir, like, comment, ver cualquier cosa. Ok, yo creo que es todo. Muchas gracias. Entonces nos vemos. Namaste.
Namaste.